is Marcel Kintscher. I'm a sales engineering consultant, and I have been 8+ years in data and AI. And I'm helping I'm helping to link Calibo's platform engineering approach to tangible business value. As a data scientist, you really want to be able to self-provision technologies and the environments that you need to start doing your machine learning development work. And you also want to get started with your work without wasting any time, without being dependent on other teams, waiting for accesses and these kind of things. So Calibo is a platform that makes that experience for you much more seamless. And it does so through a combination of platform engineering practices and a lot of self-service capabilities that can really accelerate your development work. And in this quick demo, we are going to see how a platform engineer will configure Calibo so that it integrates with all the technologies that you need along your development cycle. Then we're going to take a quick look at product roles, which define which tools and permissions, which tool accesses and permissions a particular role should have. And then we are going to take a quick look at policy templates, which define the guardrails around basically the development process and really defines the technologies that a development team should be using as part of a project. And so with that being said, a quick side note. In this case, we are going to leverage Eva Entron, the data engineer. We're going to just say that she's also the data scientist. So don't worry there, we don't have a separate persona for the data scientist. We're just going to be using Eva Entron. So with that being said, let's jump into the demo. We are logged in here as Igo Island, our platform engineer. And typically, as a platform engineer, you would be responsible for configuring the platform, integrating with it with your tool stack, and also managing roles as well as the policy templates. So if we take a look at the technology integrations first, here's really where you connect all the different tools and technologies that you want to use globally in your organization. And so, for example, if we wanted to add a new instance of Snowflake in here, we would go to databases and data warehouses, click on Snowflake up here, and then we can just add a new instance using our credentials. So after all of those technologies have been integrated, next, typically you would start onboarding your users from an Active Directory integration, for example, and you would take a look at roles. So if we take a closer look at this tasty data scientist role that we already created, we can see that this got a set of particular permissions in the platform, really defining in which stages of the development cycle should this role be active. And then the second tab is tools, in which we can really define the list of technologies that this particular role should have access to. If we expand here for a moment on the Snowflake integration, then we can see that it's been mapped against the demo role inside of Snowflake, meaning any user in Calibo that gets this data scientist role assigned will automatically be inherited the permissions of this Snowflake role. Now, going back here in the configuration section, one last thing I want to show from the platform engineer's perspective is development policies. So if we zoom in here a little bit on this policy template that we already created, then we can see the 4Ds again. So along the development cycle, we can now define the technologies to be used and integrations to be used by the development team. And this can be on a project by project or portfolio by portfolio basis. Where you can then, from the list of technologies here, for example, select the ones that this team should be able to self-provision as part of their development work. And we can see that Python with Jupyter Lab is actually good technology for machine learning development, is selected here already, which means that the data scientist later on can select that and self-provision the environment using that technology. With that being said, let's jump into the product manager's perspective. So as a product manager in Calibo, you're responsible for managing digital portfolios. And we already created one for the Snowflake Summit, which contains a number of different products. So each of our demos has a separate product. And if we jump into our demo number 2, self-service capabilities for data scientists, then typically, as a product manager, you would be managing this part, and you can add features, manage releases, dependencies, and other things. What we want to take a look at is first, you want to make sure that the development policy that we created earlier gets assigned to this product. So in the product details, under policy template, we can now select the policy template that we created earlier. The next thing that we want to do is to onboard our team. So for example, you click the button up there, you look for a team and you add it to this project. And then we can see that this team already consists of a number of people, of which Sylvia Sun is our data scientist. And that means that Sylvia Sun is now enabled to start her development work. And we want to take a look now how that really is playing out and how that could be playing out for you. So now we are in here as Sylvia Sun, our data scientist, and we can see that we're looking at an already existing very small data pipeline, which is basically a Snowflake instance with a Jupyter Lab notebook on top of it, apparently doing some customer churn prediction modeling. And so the way you add a node like that to your project is simply through the plus button there, and you hit add, and then the next thing that you would be doing is provide a name for your source code repository, and then this one here pops up. You first need to deploy this on an instance, and after that is done, you can then go to your source code, for example, which is where you see, based on the technology that you selected here, that your source code repository got created for this particular Python notebook. And so from here, you can then start either coding, which means it brings you directly to Jupyter Lab, where you can then begin your coding work, or you can also start by adding out-of-the-box algorithms. So Calibo comes packaged with a number of different algorithms, pretty standard. For example, linear regression would be matching this customer churn prediction, and you would provide a name to it. Then from here, since it's already connected to a Snowflake instance, as you saw in the data pipeline view, you can now, from the list of source tables, select the one that you prepared for the machine learning model. So for example, customer churn prediction data for ML. And then the target, you can then also define the target table. And if you add that to your list of algorithms, this is going to be created. After that, you can obviously test this algorithm. You can start coding it by just clicking on it, and that opens up your Jupyter Lab again. And also you can run experiments clicking that button here. So really, this is a great way of accelerating your development work, really not having to ask for permissions, wait for the environment to be provisioned. Simply by all the platform engineering practices that we saw earlier, you can create those environments yourself in a matter of minutes.